Alrighty, welcome back to the truck shop. It's been a while, not really that long. But today here in the truck shop we are going to be pretty much reorganizing some stuff just because it's a bit of a mess. Just reorganizing because some things I just brought and just kind of put in place just temporarily, but we got some heavy things like that I want to, put towards the bottom, and like the lighter things on top of stuff. So that's what we're doing. We're also going to be wiring up this 12-volt fan that I have right here. This little fan that I got for the bed area, just because it's going to be summer and it's gonna get hot in here, just because I don't have like the ventilation fan yet. So yeah, that's what we're going to be installing today as well. Or actually I might not be able to. I can do up the wiring, I think, because I forgot my batteries for my power tools, and I actually forgot my power tools as well. So if I wanted to screw this in, I guess I would be doing it with a screwdriver, which not necessarily the most ideal, but it's okay. Depending on how like the screws are that it's given me will kind of determine whether it's doable or not. So we'll see about that. We can do up the wiring though, and we're also going to be relocating. Where is it? There's snow on my toolbox. It's hilarious. So it's snowing. This wire here, this is, I need to get this out, but this is, if you remember, wire for our backup camera. And if I am correct, the backup camera runs off of 12-volt power. So originally I had tapped it into the wiring for the lights, the tail lights, thinking that I'd be able to get it going with the reverse, but I tapped in and it didn't really work. It only worked on the brake light, so I must have tapped the wrong one. But what we're going to do is we're going to wire it into the fuse panel, and it should, if I'm right, hopefully, it should only work when the screen is plugged in, the receiver, and it shouldn't draw power. But we're going to test that now. I'm going to put a like 15 amp fuse on it or something, and we'll see. We've got our power station there. We're gonna see how much power it draws, if it works properly like it, I would hope it to. But we're gonna get that wired up. We're gonna pull this because it's still dangling down there. I might just cut it, to be fair, and then we're gonna extend it over this way, down, and over to the fuse box, or the fuse panel I should say, because we got some new wire wherever it is. There it is. Some new 18 gauge wire, because I had run out of the previous roll, you can see there, so I had to get some more. I think we're gonna start with this. I'm probably just gonna cut it like here, because honestly it's just been dangling out there for a while. I know it's shielded, but still I prefer not to have to just pull it. I mean, we'll still have to cover up the hole that I drilled into the floor. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut it here and then pull it and extend it across from there. And yeah, we're gonna go from there, because we've got to get our ladder and then we're gonna feed it through the channels like previously. I'm gonna get to cutting that, getting it to size. I'm gonna get to it. All right, so we've partially finished. You'll notice a red light under there. Don't mind that. That is just a active circuit, well, a not active circuit with no fuse, or I guess an active circuit with no fuse, something like that. Anyways, basically it was the USB port. I'm unfortunately drawing too much power, even though it's, I guess maybe I didn't look at the rating for it, but it draws too much power and overloads the power station, so that's not good. I got the reverse camera finally figured out. I know that was like one of the first electrical things I installed that I just couldn't necessarily figure out, because originally I had it tapped down into the wires for what was supposed to be the reverse light, but that didn't end up, you know, being what it was supposed to. So it only worked when I pressed the brake light. So obviously it was tapped into the brake light, but I was just like, you know what, I can't figure this out. I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to mess with it anymore. So it's been like that for months, but we've rewired it. So the reverse camera itself is its own thing. So it's a wireless camera. It goes from here, wherever it is on the back outside, around to the power source. The power source being, well, power station, but I've got it wired into the fuse panel, and just like everything else, there's nothing special about it, but I'll show you anyways. If we turn on this light, we've got it in here on their 15 amp fuse. It's nothing major. It actually doesn't draw any power, which I thought was going to be, that was like my concern, was I don't know how much power draw it's going to be. It does not draw any power. The thing with it is that the camera itself has to be wired into a active power source. So there has to be current going through it for it to receive the signal from the camera on the screen. So I plugged in the screen into the 12 volt in the truck and turned it on, and just like that it works. So it doesn't draw any power from the power station. The only power draw is from the screen itself and the battery under the hood and such. So honestly, I'm pretty happy because I finally got that figured out. It just had to be wired into an active power source. So yeah, anyways, that was a long time problem that I had to get figured out, because damn, it took a hot minute. Well, it wasn't really on my forefront of, you know, things. Also, you notice I've got another license plate in the collection. Got a little further back. I'm just adding like a bunch of like tons of license plates that I find, you know, that are, you know, from old cars. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of license plates in here. You'll see it slowly grow. If you're wondering what's next, obviously next is the fan. I believe I'm just gonna have to screw it in, just because again I didn't bring any of my tools. So it's gonna be a handy Phillips head screw job. But that's hoping that it's Phillips, but I've got a bunch of different screwdrivers, so we're okay. So we're gonna get that probably mounted about like there in the alcove, I think, just so it's enough to like point towards diagonally most of the bed, right? Because when it's, you know, hot and such, you want to be able to turn it on within reach and it actually, you know, cool the whole area. Next is the fan. So we're gonna get the fan done, and then I think that's everything. I was just making sure everything was secure, or as secure as it can be in here in transport. So we've got a decent bit of stuff. This is pretty well secure. All this stuff, because we want to make sure nothing's falling. So we've got a ratchet strap around this and the dresser, because that was falling over when I was driving. This stuff originally was the first thing to fall over when I was driving, and then yeah, I just had to reorganize that and get it all sorted, because there will be more stuff coming in, you know, to the truck. There will be more things. I want to get these 2x4s like sort of into one of these channels on the side like I originally did way back, just because they're kind of taking up some space. I mean, that's where my ladder is supposed to go, but the ladder is out and in use currently just because it's the only way up and down from the bed. So yeah, the one other thing I've yet to do is finish the lining. I know I did the one on the top way back months ago, but we got more of it just so we can finish the, you know, inside, because there's very clear gaps, as you can see, in the doors here, which, I mean, it's been like that since I made it, but we just want to get that sorted and make sure there's no sort of like obvious air leaks and, you know, well, it's not going to be airtight, but to make sure like that snow isn't getting in there, like rain, you know, stuff like that. But I think what I'm gonna do, because there's this part here that's still sort of leaking, like there and there, where there you can see caulking, because I originally, you know, that leak was there and I wasn't sure where it was coming from. So I might use the spray foam I have along this whole corner edge here and just fill it with spray foam, and then get on top of the truck and just kind of like fill any gaps I can find with caulking, because I need to deal with that's like the only leak I can think of actively. I originally thought there was a leak over there, but I don't think that's so, because it was raining real hard a little while back, and I don't think it's leaked anymore, because I went up there and looked. Or I don't think it was really a leak. I think it was just a bunched up bit of condensation that happened to turn into a drip. So I don't know, or it just could be this no damp dehumidifier bag that is doing its job. It actually is really doing its job. There's a decent bit of water already in the catch there, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna get to the fan. We'll stop yapping. I'll get back to you when I'm done. Alrighty, well, it is finally finished. I know I wanted to do a little more sort of action cam stuff, but unfortunately it's not really the time right now, just because I'm still getting everything organized and it just doesn't feel like I should be doing it just yet. But we got the fan up there. It might be a little hard to see because it's black, but it is up, mounted to the wall with 3 screws. Just a simple 12-volt fan. It's got 2 settings. It is fairly loud, I'll admit. It's almost like a bathroom fan like noise level, but I mean, for what it is and the price point, you know, I think it's pretty good. It's got fairly good power, you know. It's not a weak fan. It's all metal, so it's not like gonna just come crumbling apart like some plastic ones. But yeah, simple wiring, just bound and, you know, connected here and then down into the fuse panel. Again, this fuse panel is very, very, very useful. It is so good. Honestly, I couldn't recommend these enough. They're so cheap and they're so useful for like 12-volt stuff, like power distribution and whatnot. But especially if you have a sort of RV setup or like a power station, like I do, these are amazing for distribution, because there's only so many ports and stuff on this, right? And if you have stuff in your vehicle or thing that you want, you know, to stay there, you don't want to have to keep just plugging into there, you can set it up on this. Yes, it's a bit messy here and most people cover theirs up, but again, this is, you know, sort of workshop, so I'm not too concerned with the mess, little things like that. But it's all connected into a 12-volt plug that plugs into the 12-volt plug on the power station. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened with this light, but it's not working anymore. Doesn't really matter, all the other ones still work, so that's okay. But yes, the fan is up, it works. That is pretty much everything so far that I wanted to get connected. We've got our main lights, we've got our bed lights, we've got the fan, we've got our underbed lights. We do technically have a USB port, but until there's a larger power source, that's not really going to be usable, because for some reason it draws too much power. It worked fine when I had it just connected to like the car battery, but this one obviously has, you know, regulations in it that prevent it from being, you know, going over a certain amount of power draw. So that unfortunately overloaded it, and it didn't work the way I would have wanted it to. So whatever. Also, we do have this cargo net that I got just for some things that might, you know, fall, but I just used some ratchet straps because I've got tons of them. And again, there's still more stuff to come in to the truck. before it moves, so I'll just leave the cargo net for now until maybe there's some other stuff that I want to secure and make sure it doesn't move. But with that being said, I've pretty much done everything that I wanted to do today. I'm happy with what we've got done. I'm still waiting for some things I'm going to do later, but yeah, I'm happy with the way it's going. I'm still having a problem with the running lights. I'm not quite sure if it is genuinely a wiring issue. I'm going to have to come back at some point and check all the fuses, because I'm going to check like every single fuse I can reach, like under the hood, under the dash. It's a little hard under the dash because the like most stiff part of the wiring loom is in front of the fuse panel, which is just the worst. But we're gonna have to check what we can. The fuses that I thought were, you know, the problem ones, I checked and they were okay. So I don't know if it's just a bulb issue or, you know, a wiring issue or what, but we're gonna have a look. We're thinking about replacing probably the ones up top with just a singular light bar, because there's 1, 2, and 3 lights, and then 2 of them are like sort of out because the connections are all old and sort of corroded and just loose. So I might just pry them all off, pull the wiring, and tack on one big light bar there. And then yeah, I don't know, it's just electrical stuff, man. Electrical stuff is such, it could be the bane of you, or it could be, you know, your best friend. It's I can tell you from experience, obviously doing 12-volt stuff is so simple. It is so easy. You just get some wire. I use 18 gauge wire. It's nothing special, it's enough. But yeah, electrical can be fun and it can be a nightmare. And especially from what I hear people say on vehicles, doing electrical on vehicles is a nightmare. But anyways, I am going to leave it here. I appreciate you guys as always for hanging out with me, and with that being said, I'm done.